Dear brother bishops and priests, distinguished members of the Pontifical Academy for Life, dear brothers and sisters, it is significant we celebrate this Eucharist, concluding the General Assembly of the Pontifical Academy for Life on today's Feast of the Holy Archangels. The Compendium of the Catechism of the Catholic Church speaks of the angels as purely spiritual creatures, incorporeal, invisible, immortal, and personal beings endowed with intelligence and will. They ceaselessly contemplate God face to face, and they glorify Him. They serve Him and are His messenger in the accomplishment of His saving mission to all. Saint Gregory the Great, in his homilies on the Gospels, tells us that those who deliver messages of lesser importance are called angels, while those who deliver messages concerning more important events are called archangels. In every situation, the angels are sent to establish a bond between heaven and earth. We see this in the image used by Jesus in the Gospel passage we just heard, which evokes the dream of Jacob in the book of Genesis. The angels made known the message that God addresses to each of us in our lives. They accompany us at every step of our way. Gabriel reveals to the prophet Daniel the hidden plan of God, but he is best known for announcing the birth of John the Baptist to Zechariah and the birth of Jesus to the Virgin Mary. These were two very different messages and two very different encounters. The first took place in the temple when Zechariah, as priest, was offering sacrifice. The meeting with Mary, however, took place in Nazareth, a little town on the fringes of Israel. It was such a small town that in today's Gospel, Nathanael could ask, "Can anything good come from Nazareth?" Gabriel enters the house of this young woman. There he brings the Lord's word, which in turn brings life to our daily human experiences. Michael the Archangel combats evil and does battle with Satan and his forces, as we see in today's reading from the book of Revelation. He is the defender of the friends of God and the protector of God's people. He is the prince of the heavenly host, and it may be to him and his legions that Jesus referred during his arrest in the Garden of Gethsemane. Yet it is Raphael, whose name means God heals, who can best serve as our inspiration today. He is among the 7 angels who stand before God's throne in heaven. We are most familiar with him because he was the guide and protector of Tobias on his journey, which concluded with the healing of his blind father. I would like to highlight 2 aspects of the way Raphael carried out his charge, which I think can serve to inspire us. First, he never replaces Tobias. He teaches him by his words, but does not take his place. Raphael's aim is to enable Tobias to find within himself the strength to cope with situations, even the most difficult ones, employing all the gifts that the Lord has given him. Times of trouble, when faced honestly and responsibly, can become an opportunity for healing and reconciliation with ourselves and with others. And the second aspect, in a certain sense, has to do with the practice of medicine and the art of healing. Raphael told Tobias to catch a fish and make use of the curative power of its goal to heal his father's blindness. Nowadays, we too find ourselves having to deal with complex and troubling situations. Often, we talk about the need to heal a sick world. The Archangel Raphael reminds us that we can do our utmost to provide care, but the work of healing always begins with God, who asks us to employ all our knowledge and skill in cooperating with Him. The pandemic has brought to light weaknesses and injustice that need to be acknowledged for what they are, and to be dealt with in comprehensive, not fragmentary ways, employing every aspect of contemporary scientific knowledge. This demands of us not only a stoic readiness to meet challenges with the skill at our disposal, but also a courageous commitment to a profound renewal of our way of thinking, including our theological reflection. In this way, we will be able to identify real structures of sin that demand systemic responses. It is increasingly clear that while affirming in theory the intrinsic and inalienable dignity of each person, we have made in practice choices that establish differences and attribute unequal worth to the lives of others. We stand in need of conversion, not only as individuals, but as an entire community, including the ecclesial community. The path you have pursued, examining the present historical moment through the interpretative key of public global health, is exactly suited to this approach. Necessary change must take place at the level of society, but even before, in the heart of each person. For it is there what we need to defeat the enemy who creates division and inequality in the human family, hindering the journey toward greater justice and fraternity on which, at every step of the way, the archangels accompany and sustain us.